let's be honest, millennials, we're on our phones a lot and we only have one hand available to push that stroller. So you want something that's easy to maneuver with one hand so that when you're texting, you're not accidentally crashing your kid into someone else's cart. Hello, today I am going to build a baby registry with you from scratch as if I have 0 kids, even though I actually have twin 2-year-olds and a 7-month-old baby. When I was pregnant, I knew literally nothing about babies, and I was completely lost when it came to building a registry, buying baby gear, picking things out. I made a lot of mistakes. I wasted a lot of money. So I've never seen a video like this where someone's literally going through the Amazon baby checklist and kind of giving tips and tricks on each category and then building a registry from scratch. And I know I would have found this super helpful back when I was pregnant with my twins before having any kids, because I, again, literally knew nothing at that time. So I needed something like this where someone was holding my hand and showing me each step of the process. So I'll just jump into it right now. Won't take up any more of your time on this intro. All right, I'm trying to minimize my face because I don't think you need to see me that bad. Okay, so first thing on the checklist is out and about. We'll start with carriers. My sister-in-law has this Infantino Cuddle Up. It's relatively inexpensive at $40. She really likes it. I personally prefer the baby Bjorn. They're very similar though, so if you don't want to spend $85 on a baby Bjorn, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the Infantino Cuddle Up. There's also, if you don't want one of these types of carriers, there's the Boba wrap, which I really liked for my twins because it can actually fit 2 babies in when they're in the newborn stage. So the Boba wrap, 3,000 reviews. Obviously a lot of other parents really love it too. I mean, I lived with this on. I actually own 2 of these because just in case a baby spit up on one of them and one was in the wash, I needed to wear another when I had the twins. So I would definitely add a baby carrier to your registry. The baby carrier doesn't even need to be an out and about type of thing. I literally wear my baby carrier in the house when I had the twins and also when I had the baby after the twins. A lot of times babies just want to be held. They want to be right up next to mommy, but mommy often has other things to do like cleaning and vacuuming and making food and taking care of other kids if you do have other kids. So mommy often needs both hands. So I honestly wear my carrier every day, even within my house, just so that I can do other things while also holding the baby and keeping the baby happy. Next thing, now that we have a carrier, is car seats. So Amazon kind of has this broken out into 3 different categories that I'm seeing here. They have car seats, strollers, and then travel systems, which travel systems are really just the car seat stroller combo, where you know that this car seat will click into this stroller, so that's why it's called a travel system. So I didn't actually purchase a travel system per se when I was pregnant. I got the Graco 35 car seat, infant car seat. So this is what I got. I really like the Graco Snug Ride 35 infant car seat just because it works with so many different strollers. So I've had lots of different strollers with my kids, kind of just testing out to see what I like. The good thing about like Graco or Chico, some of those more common brands, is it works with lots of different strollers. And if it doesn't, there's usually adapters that you can buy to make the car seat click into any of the strollers. So I'm just going to add this Graco to the registry just to get the car seat out of the way. I need to say I would not suggest using something like this Graco Forever 4-in-1 convertible car seat. So I'll just show you. To give you more details, these convertible car seats can work for newborns all the way up to like a big kid. I wouldn't use this. Please don't buy into the marketing of it's a 4-in-1, you can use it forever. When you have a little newborn, you want a car seat that can click out of a base and click into a stroller when you're on the go. The last thing you want is to get to Target and have a sleeping newborn in the back seat that's asleep in a convertible car seat, which does not click out. So if you want to get out and go, you have to unbuckle your sleeping little infant and pull them out, which is for sure going to wake them up. Then you don't really have anywhere to put them unless you put them in a carrier or you hold them the entire time. Trust me, you don't need this convertible car seat until your child grows out of an infant car seat. So infant car seat is what you want. You want the clickable base that it can get in and out of. You can buy multiple bases. As you can see here, they just sell separate bases, so you can have one base in your car and one base in your husband's car, so that you're not having to constantly take out and reinstall the base for the car seat to click into. Everyone can just have a base in their car, so whichever car you choose to take, you can pop baby in and out of easily. So for strollers now, strollers is definitely the category that I believe that a new mom should splurge on. If you're on a budget, that's cool. You can be a budget on everything. Strollers is not something I would be on a budget on. Now, I'm not going to necessarily suggest a specific stroller because there are so many strollers out there at so many price points, and there are different things that are important to people. I feel like this is an item where you need to go to like Bye Bye Baby or something and test out their specific strollers to see what works for you. Some things to keep in mind is how big is your trunk? Some of these strollers do not fold down small. You don't want to register for something, receive it, and then find out that when it folds down, it doesn't fit into the trunk of your little sedan. The other thing to keep in mind is where you live and the type of weather this stroller is going to have to endure. When you're looking at some of these strollers, like look at this safety first one. I haven't specifically used this one or tested this one out, so no shade to it, but look at these tiny little wheels. I'm originally from Minnesota. We can get a lot of snow. These tiny little wheels are not going to go through a parking lot when it's just freshly snowed. These are just not. You're going to be struggling to push your stroller. It's going to be at risk of tipping over. If you live in an area with inclement weather, you're going to need a stroller that has some bigger, heavier duty wheels to make sure that no matter the conditions, you can push your baby safely to whatever destination you're going to. The last thing to keep in mind, which is such a millennial thing to say, is just the one-handed maneuverability. Some of the really cheap strollers that, again, have these tiny, cheapy wheels, you're going to need both hands to really push the stroller to make sure that you're not like running into the aisles of stuff at Target. Let's be honest, millennials, we're on our phones a lot and we only have one hand available to push that stroller. So you want something that's easy to maneuver with one hand so that when you're texting your husband, you're not accidentally crashing your kid into someone else's cart. All right, so I'm going to register in this fake registry I am building, this City Select single, because I really like it, and most people want more than one kid, and the great thing about this is you can actually pop on an extra seat up front here. You have to buy it, obviously, but this will convert easily into a double stroller. So yes, it is expensive, but at least it's going to grow with your family. You're not going to have to get rid of a single stroller and then buy a new double stroller when you do decide to expand. All right, so since we have the car seat and the stroller, we don't need a travel system because we basically already established that. Let's move into play yards. So I have 2 pack and plays at my house and I love them. But for the most part, no matter what brand you get, they kind of do fall into these 3 tiers. You can either get this super basic one that just is the basic like box, I guess you could say, where the mattress is all the way down at the bottom. You're going, if you're buying this truly and you're going to have a newborn, you at minimum want this one here that has the newborn insert. So yes, it does go all the way deep down like this one, but it has this attachment up top that you can have for the newborn stage that you just don't have to drop your baby all the way down. They're just right there at a much easier level to grab them up at, to make sure you're still supporting their head. And then once they're able to crawl or start pulling themselves up, you would take this insert out and it would basically turn into this one that you see here. The next level up is something like this, which is basically, so like level 1, level 2 you add this, and then level 3 it has a little bassinet that they can sleep in, and then also an extra changing table in case you don't want to buy an entirely separate changing table if you're short on space or something. Let's just be really bougie and get the nicest one, even though you don't have to. I just have these ones. Then last is Stroller Accessories. Now, Stroller Accessories isn't necessarily a must-have, but it is a nice-to-have type of thing. So since I registered for the baby jogger, I'll just throw this baby jogger one on. Has 2 cup holders, some place to put your cell phone or any other snacks. We have completed the out and about category on the checklist. Next is nursery. So for cribs and nursery beds, these kind of baby nests or loungers are really, really popular right now. Again, personal opinion, I don't feel like it's a necessary thing. Another baby nest that's really popular, it's almost like a cult favorite, I would call it, is a DockATot. DockATots are really expensive. They're almost like $200, I believe. So it looks like they're coming out with, you know, competitors for the DockATot at a much more reasonable price. My twins had really, really bad reflux. So the thing to keep in mind if you're looking at a baby nest is they are completely flat. So if your baby does develop something like reflux, they won't be able to use a baby nest, because when a child has reflux, they'll need to sleep kind of at a 45-degree angle because the gravity will help keep their reflux or spit up down. Whereas a baby nest is flat on the ground, and the last thing you want to do with a child who has reflux is lay them flat on their back, because that's just going to cause spit up to kind of like pop up and spittle everywhere. So I personally am not a big fan of the baby nest. What I would get instead for a bassinet is something like a rock and play. A rock and play is what I have. There's so many different ones. I have just this super basic one right here, so I'll add this to my registry. As you can see here, the rock and play is at an upward angle. So a newborn with reflux or a newborn without reflux, anyone can sleep in this, and it will help them have a better night's sleep because, again, the gravity's helping to keep that milk down. So cribs are also in this category. Personal opinion, I don't like cribs. I don't think they're necessary. They're really cute in photos. They look really great in a nursery, but does a little teeny newborn ever sleep in a crib? No. Pretty much everyone puts their newborn in some sort of bassinet, baby nest, rock and play, like co-sleep if that's what you want to do. Very rarely is a little newborn sleeping in their giant freaking crib. So completely unnecessary at that stage. And then even once they're a little older, there's a slew of things that can go wrong in a crib, between like your kid getting their legs stuck in between those little slats that are just totally like little baby trappers. The sides of cribs are really hard, so babies are rolling into the sides of them all the time and waking themselves up, at least my kids. You know, once they're able to crawl out of their cribs, it's kind of a little bit of a dangerous height for them to be climbing out of. I just am not a fan of cribs. I wasted a lot of money on cribs. If you're short on space or money, you can just have your kids sleep in the rock and play when they're really little, or when they get too old for a rock and play, they can sleep in a pack and play, and by the time they've outgrown a pack and play, they can just sleep in a regular toddler bed. Like, cribs are just really expensive and they take up a lot of space. I just don't like cribs. But if you do really want a crib, Amazon has a lot of great ones. you'll just also need a lot of accessories to make your crib actually comfortable for your child. So let's just add a crib for funsies. We'll just do this one. $237, and you're gonna have to spend even more to make it a comfortable sleep for the baby. So let's go to bedding for the crib. So I just got these Amazon ones for our cribs, just these jersey sheets. They're nice and soft. Again, I'm gonna try not to be a total Debbie Downer as I go through this crib stuff. I just wasted so much money trying to make my crib comfortable for my twins when ultimately they just don't like them. They're loud when you run into the rails. Your legs get stuck in the rails. They crawl out of them. They chew on the wood, which eating that paint stain can't be healthy for you. All right, so pretty much got the bedding covered. Got to get a mattress for your crib, so that's more money. So all the mattresses, I personally feel like they have to meet a certain standard to be allowed to be sold as a baby mattress. So I don't feel like you need to spend $200 on this little Moonlight Slumber Little Dreamer. I think you're probably fine with spending $35 on this Dream On Me mattress. Oh, actually, this is a play yard mattress. So this would be for like a pack and play. Something to keep in mind. Don't accidentally buy a pack and play mattress. This will not fit into your crib. You have to buy a crib mattress. So let's see. Where's a crib mattress that's not too expensive? Okay, so here's one for $45. Let's just make sure it's a crib mattress. Okay, so it's a crib and toddler bed mattress. So this is what you want. You want a crib mattress specifically if you're going to be putting it into a crib. So let's add this to the registry. Again, they're all going to have to meet like a certain safety standard to be sold as a baby crib, to be sold as a baby bed crib. So I don't feel like you need to spend a ton of money. They're all probably pretty close to the same thing. So, mattress pads, I personally don't feel like you need a mattress pad. In my experience, most of the crib mattresses, they're not like adult mattresses where if you pee the bed, it's going to sink into the mattress and be disgusting. Almost all of the baby crib mattresses are like plastic on the outside. So a mattress pad is kind of redundant if the crib mattress already has a plastic coating around the outside to prevent pee from like getting in and making it all dirty. So I have some of these and they were a waste of money. I don't even use them because they're not necessary. So I'm just going to check this off. Even if I don't get it, I'm going to check it off because in order to get your baby registry gift box from Amazon, all these categories have to be checked off. So the next is changing tables. Oh, if you have a pack and play that has a changing table built into it, you don't necessarily need this, but sometimes it is a nice to have. I actually have two changing tables. I have one in like our main area of the house and then one actually I have three. I have one near the nursery, one in my room, and then one in kind of the main area of the house so that I don't have to be running all over to one place just to be able to change a diaper. I have just this Delta Children's infant changing table in two of the locations in my house and I really like it. It works for kids up to 30 pounds, so it lasts for a pretty long time. Next is gliders and rocking chairs. I definitely feel like this is a must-have. I'm actually sitting in my glider right now because it's so comfortable. I wouldn't necessarily say get it off of Amazon. I would actually recommend going to Buy Buy Baby for one of these because I feel like you want to test it out. I originally got a glider off of Amazon, or a rocking chair off of Amazon, I guess I would say, and I hated it. It was so uncomfortable. It was too big. It was made for basically a man, someone who's 6 foot plus. I'm only 5'4", so I needed a smaller chair, lower to the ground, so my feet could actually touch, so I could actually make it rock. I ended up having to sell it And then I went to Bye Bye Baby and got the one that I'm sitting in right now. It's perfect because the glider I chose is smaller and closer to the ground. Since I'm short and I have short little legs, I don't have any problem, you know, making it so that it can rock. It fits me perfectly. It like cuts off at the perfect point. I can fall asleep on it with the baby on me, and I'm just very comfortable in this chair. You're going to be spending a lot of time in your glider rocking chair. You just want to make sure it's comfortable and built for your body size. I'm just going to toss one in. These kinds are cheaper, but having toddlers, I don't like these kinds because if one of them decides to stick their little hand in these slats, someone's going to get hurt. So I like these ones where those components are kind of covered. The last is changing pads. And I just have this summer infant contoured one, like super easy. Obviously a lot of people have it and they like it. You don't need a super expensive or fancy changing pad. You're literally changing like poop diapers on these. This is fine. This is comfortable. All right, next category is bath time. So you only need one infant tub. And the one I really like that is pretty cheap is this one. It's the 4-in-1 sling seat. The reason I like this one is because it grows with baby. This little rainbow sling is what you use when they're just a little newborn. When they grow out of being super teeny tiny, you can remove this sling and they can just lay in the larger part of the tub. It has kind of a little foam padded area here. And then once baby's ready to be, you know, more active and sit up, you pop this little chair in and they can sit up and be bathed. So I really like this one. It comes with a little squeezy bottle that you can use to help gently wash off the soap and stuff from your baby, but this is a perfectly good tub and it's not too expensive. Next is tub toys. I mean, these aren't a must-have when they're newborns. When they're newborns, they won't necessarily be playing with toys yet. So these are kind of a nice to have early on, but they'll be in storage for a few months. We have these little boats at our house. We have this little whale cover. Bath whale. I can't type. Bath whale cover. So this is what we have. So it's a spout cover. I didn't see a category for it on Amazon. When your kids are old enough to be sitting in the tub after a few months, if you graduate them from the little infant tub, you're gonna want one of these spout covers so that they don't accidentally hit their head hard on the metal spout of the bathtub. But again, not like a super must-have right off the bat because as a newborn, they won't be in the giant tub anyways. So next are soaps and cleansers. So for soaps and cleansers, it's really up to your own discretion. The only thing I would specifically say is you don't want anything with fragrance in it. Anything with fragrance is just going to irritate your sweet little baby's skin and potentially cause eczema or a rash. You want something that has zero fragrance and that is tear-free also. So I like the Stellatopia wash. They have one that has fragrance and then they have one with no fragrance. I'm not gonna like dive too deep into it. Just be very cognizant if you do get Mustela that you get the one that has no fragrance in it. And then you're also gonna want baby lotion because your baby's skin is very gentle, and especially depending on the climate that you live in, their skin can get dried out very easily. Stay away from scents. I like the Aveeno Baby Daily Moisturizing Lotion. On to diapering. We're working our way through here. Same thing, you don't want diapers with fragrance. Right off the bat, I am seeing Loves. Loves are great and cheap diapers. However, they are very pungent and have a very strong fragrance to them. I mean, poop's gonna smell like poop. You're not actually covering up any scent. It just smells like you put a bunch of baby powder on top of a pile of poop. I don't really see the point why anyone would scent their diapers. Like, if your baby's stinky, you should probably change their diapers anyways. Don't try to cover it up with fragrance. So definitely get like a scent-free diaper. I actually like Sam's Club's diapers the most, so those won't be on Amazon. Sam's Club diapers are basically the same exact thing as Pampers unscented diapers. I'm pretty sure it's the same manufacturer. I mean, don't quote me on that. No one sue me. They literally seem like the same exact diapers. Don't know what's going on there, but you don't need to spend Pampers money to get Pampers quality. Just go to Sam's. But because I do like Pampers diapers, especially their swaddlers, I will add that to the registry just so we can check this off the list. And then let's go to wipes. I really like Sam's Club wipes too, so something to keep in mind, but the Pampers sensitive wipes are also great. Same thing, don't get scented baby wipes. Fragrance is not your baby's friend. As much as so many companies try throwing fragrance into things, try to get the unscented. So sticking in the diaper vein, let's look at diaper creams. We use the A&D diaper cream as well as Boudreaux's butt paste. These are kind of like the two different classes. Boudreaux's butt paste is similar to Desitin in that they use like zinc oxide to help clear up the diaper rash. Both of them are just the thick white paste that you put on as diaper cream. This A&D is more of a Vaseline-based diaper cream, similar to the Aquaphor, and then it just has some vitamin A&D in it to help clear up the rash. Both of them are good. We kind of switch off because sometimes it seems like our kids are becoming, not like immune, but certain diaper creams start not working as well, and then we find that if we switch them off, we always are using a very effective cream at the time. So I'm just going to add both of these since I use both of them. We've used Desitin's pretty similar to Boudreaux's butt paste. We've used Burt's Bees, but it has a pretty strong scent to it, so I actually didn't like it that much. I know some people that swear by these baby bum cream brushes. I don't have one of these. I guess my hands just smell like baby cream all the time, maybe, no matter how much you wash them. Some people really like these because it's really hard to get the smell of diaper cream off of your hands no matter how much you wash them. So I have some friends that have this just because they can't stand their hands smelling like diaper cream. All right, so then Diaper Pails. All I can say is do not get a diaper genie or one of those really cheap plastic diaper pails that require you to use like their special super expensive diaper bags. Just don't do it. What we do, we had one and it broke pretty quickly, and so it was just a waste of money. What we use now and what has worked for us for a really long time now are these UB diaper pails, and you don't have to buy these super special expensive diaper bags. You can just use your regular kitchen trash bag, which is super convenient. So I love this. Add to registry. So diaper bags. So I actually have a video on which diaper bag I've used. I've gone through a lot of diaper bags until I found one that I really, really liked. I had one of the, I feel like there's like a bajillion manufacturers that make this specific diaper bag. I had it for a while and I didn't really like it. It was nice and cheap, which is great, so I didn't waste that much money on it, but I ended up liking my Itsy Ritzy bag so much more. So this one is kind of just our backup bag. I have it filled with some stuff that just in case my husband wants to run out and I don't want him to take my bag, he can take this one. But a good diaper bag is very important if you plan on being out and about with your baby. The more prepared you are before you leave the house, just the easier and more seamless the whole thing is going to seem. Oh, this is the one that I got that I ended up not really liking, and then I got my Itsy Ritzy one, but I'm not going to search for the one I have. I'll just link that video below. Okay, so the video was starting to get kind of long, so I've decided to split this into a two-part series. If you want to see part two and complete the rest of the baby registry with me, I'll have that linked down below. I know this may not be the prettiest format of a video, but if you like it and if you like this style where I'm taking you through the entire process on my computer, please click the like button and also leave a comment down below if you want more videos like this. Thanks so much for watching part one. I hope you join me in part two. Bye.